Hi, how are you? My name is MaxNoSleeves, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a perfect cup of espresso. Having an espresso in the morning is part of my morning routine, and a lot of people swear that having a morning routine is very important. It makes you more productive, makes you happier, definitely hotter, and it definitely wakes you up from your sleep if you happen to wake up from your sleep, which I hope you do. Now, first things first, I have to mention that it is espresso, not expresso. I know that's a weird pet peeve, but I got it. It's espresso, like S, like symbolism. What's the symbolism there?
I'm sure the word you were looking for was symbolism. What is the symbolism?
And so let's go. Well, first things first, let me get into my uniform. Hey man, I think the scarf is a little bit too much. Scarf is a cool look, but I do still live in California, so. Okay, so we're gonna really get her going. Dog. The first thing you really have to remember before you start anything else is just to make sure you click it on, because depending on your make and model, it's going to need to warm up a little bit. Just like with most things, you're going to want to warm her up, before you get her caffeinated. So it's on red. When this thing turns green, we're good to go, like the Hulk. Or my dog's poop. Right, buddy? You want to be click-clacking, you might as well make a cameo. Everyone say hello to Jax. He's very finicky, but he smells great because we just gave him a shower, which he hates. But he needs to learn to shut the fuck up. Back when I used to work for a business manager, we would look at different companies and their business plans, and one of the ones we looked at was a coffee shop. What was crazy was they laid out exactly how much it cost them to make a cup of coffee versus how much they were pricing it out. And when you come up with this stuff, you have to think about, like, it's not just beans and water, it's beans and water and rent and electricity and salary for the guy that you're paying to make it and insurance and all this stuff. Even with all that, it cost the company like 50 to 60 cents to make a cup of coffee. And then they just turn around and charge me $3 for it. And I'm no Scientologist, but that's like a 95% markup. Crazy margin. And so every time I bought a cup of coffee, I felt like a total idiot. Another way to think about this, a pound of coffee makes you about 48 cups. Pound of coffee costs you 13 bucks. So what does that come out to? 27 cents a cup. Versus going to Starbucks and it's $2-3 a cup of coffee. Get coffee 4 or 5 times a week. Maybe a croissant. Anyway, it's always nice to just think about how much someone's ripping you off, you know what I mean? Just take $20 and just light it on fire. Do I still get Starbucks all the time? Yes, of course I do. Do I find it revolting? Yeah. Is it too much math first thing in the morning? You bet your balls it is.
Neil Diamond. You bet your balls it's Neil Diamond.
Okay, so let's get her going, because I could really use a cup. Like I said, this is all part of my morning ritual. My morning ritual usually consists of I make a cup of coffee, then I get on my phone and screw around on the internet for 23.5 hours, and I try to do that every day. Now, what type of coffee do we use? Well, the short answer is fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Fine. So fine is what they use for espresso, medium or normal is what they use for regular drip coffee, and then coarse is what they use for French press. Now, how do you remember which one's fine and which one's coarse? Well, that's easy. Coarse looks like sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Fine powder is sort of just like LeBron chalk. If you have a grinder like I do, you can change what type of grounds you want to get. So we're gonna go to coarse, of course. These are actually really fun to have because then you can sort of play around with how you like your coffee. Just be careful because it makes a really, really awful sound when you grind it. Oh my God, that is ridiculous. Take your time with me. I love you. God, that is just awful. And it looks like this. So just for comparison's sake, this is fine. This is coarse. So then you grab your trusty little cup on a stick. You take your scooper and you put a little bit in there, just like that. And you take this thing, which is called a tapper or a tamper or whatever, tamper keeper. And they say you just sort of tap it in. Just tap it in.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
But in my experience, you really sort of got to muscle it down. Ugh. Just be careful when you're muscling it, make sure to hold the opposite side so it doesn't slingshot forward like a catapult. Like that. First try. And there you are. Then you take it, you put it in to the left and really just twist it until it gets stuck. I feel like I'm giving sex advice. Hey, hon. Don't forget that coffee. Make sure you got enough water in here. We're good. Now, on a lot of the machines, there's like a basin here that like supposed to catch the excess liquid. I find that to be kind of gross and disgusting. And I think it's just way easier to just take a sliver of paper towel and put it down there because it's really only a couple of drips. Drip, drip, drop, there goes into your orgasm. So then grab one of your fancy cups. Makes you feel like you're in Star Wars, Star Trek. Sorry, Dad. And then just grip it and rip it. and drip it.
Now that's for anyone asking. Give me one drip, drip, drop. There goes an orgasm. Now you out the side of your face, we tapping right into your memory banks.
Woo, isn't that sexy? One thing to make sure is to stop it, because this thing is not one of the ones that stops on its own. This thing will just overflow until you've flooded your house. And another thing to think about while it's cooling down is that you should always remember that coffee is a great thing to have in the morning. It really gets your day going, but it doesn't actually make you less tired. It just makes your brain think you're less tired. It's an interesting idea. On the one hand, you want to make sure you're getting enough rest, you're getting enough exercise, you're going to bed at a good time. You want to be rested. You don't just want to feel rested. Like if you have headaches all the time, you don't just want to take Advil every day until you die. Maybe you should go check your brain to get a brain scan. Just a thought. But on the other hand, I mean, I feel like if it makes you less tired, then who cares why you're less tired? You know, it's like that argument I've always heard about fake boobs. If you can touch them, they're real. And there we are, an absolutely beautiful cup of coffee. Ah, I spelled gorgeous. Gorgeous. Fuck, that's hot. All right, now we'll just let that cool for a second. But anyway, that you're done, that's an absolutely beautiful cup of coffee. Beautiful. So, what have we learned today? 1, well, always think about the margins and how much you're getting ripped off. Number 2, if something's really worth it, you're gonna wanna make sure to set aside enough time to let it properly warm up before you get caffeinated. And number 3, a morning routine is really important, but the most important part is to stick the landing. Now you might be saying to yourself, man, did I just watch a full video about a guy just make a regular cup of espresso? It's not even like a latte or anything. He didn't even steam the milk. It's just a regular espresso. It's like the easiest thing you